Most people use the JPEG file format for storing their digital pictures. That's okay if you are at the end of any process, but it's bad when the picture is still in progress. That's because of the compression remains of the JPEG compression algorithm and the recompression after a small edit of an image. The best way to save our stuff while working on it is the lossless BMP file format or the target image file format TIFF. When you use this, you can add the lossless LZW compression to your picture. It's nothing more than a kind of zip compression. You can save some space, but in slower systems you will notice response because of the necessary uncompression every time you use a file. I stick with the BMP file format. Anytime you edit a file, your system has already uncompressed it, regardless of the file format you use for saving. That means you will always work under uncompressed conditions. A JPEG can be 40 kilobytes small in file size, but in the moment you open the file, it can easily grow up to tons of megabytes. That's because the JPEG compression analyzes your picture and combines areas with more or less the same colors. If you make a 200 meter by 200 meter big picture of pure white, you can save it in a small file. If you use the BMP file format, the file size is equal to the working file size and the amount of memory you have to utilize. So does trueSpace. When you render something, trueSpace has to uncompress the JPEG file and keep them somewhere. I have no clue if trueSpace opens and closes a JPEG anytime the render engine calls them, or if it uses free memory and closes other. Regardless of how trueSpace will use JPEG, it has to uncompress the necessary parts of it. You can check the amount of memory your Paint or 3D task uses with the Task Manager. Simply click on your taskbar and open the Tasks Manager. How much memory Photoshop uses until it starts to swap to its own swap file can be set under Photoshop Settings. You should keep in mind that both applications need a lot of memory to work properly. If you try to work with trueSpace and your Photo Paint application at the same time, you should remember this. Every operation can become much slower than working with a single application. There's a golden rule about memory use and how much is needed in editing paints or working with 3D. There is never too much memory.